Good evening. Can you hear me? Okay. Good evening and welcome to this lightning talk. We will meet 11 speakers, representatives of their companies, and they will explain you the solutions and products about connectivity, connecting urban and data. We all know that smart cities has a lot of technological component, and this technology is based in most of the cases in collecting data from all the urban environment and getting this data in big data centers. So we have the need to provide solutions to the city by using this great amount of data. So I think that we can all be hearing these solutions because I think that it will be very interesting for the deployment of smart cities in all our countries. So please, let's meet first of all. We'll begin with Vicent Llorens Quintana, representative of UVAX Concepts in Paterna, Spain. Please. Sí, le das.
Al play. Okay. Good afternoon. Yes, I am Vicent Llorens from UVAX, and I'm going to do this presentation. If an alien lands on the Earth and looks for the best network to communicate, or best communication grid, it would thought that the electrical network is the most complete one. Do you know that in Spain we have more than 400,000 kilometers of electrical cable that is just dedicated for the streetlights? It is obviously totally infra-used. So that's what we thought a few years ago when we decided to start with this project. During the last 6 years, we have been working on an intelligent remote control system for a streetlight infrastructure. And of course, we decided to use the electrical cables to transmit information. So UVAX is using the broadband power line communication, because we are thinking in much more than using this platform just to switch on or switch off the streetlights. Our high bandwidth system allows us to add much more services and functionalities. These are the needs for the present and future smart cities. How we make everything work? We add in each streetlight one node that is communicating within the electrical cables with a concentrator. This concentrator is on the electrical cabinet, and this element matches the cloud and the software management systems through the internet. So using the existing infrastructure, we reach a bandwidth up to 50 megabits per second, resulting in a system much more robust than the other systems. This permits to add different services to streetlights as cameras, loudspeakers, Wi-Fi hotspots, or many kinds of sensorization. And all of this in a really simple and plug-and-play system to configure the system. So which benefits can we get using UVAX systems? From the point of view of streetlight management, we improve the light quality, having better uniformity, and also the durability of the luminaires, because we can dim them and control the amount of light and temperature of the luminaires. And there's also more security due to the quality of light. And what about money? It is possible to achieve up to 80% of direct cost savings, but there is much more. We can get savings in maintenance costs because we control the luminaires, we control which luminaires are working and which luminaires are failing. Being much more efficient and eliminating expensive maintenance costs. All of this means that we can reduce and we have a short-term ROI. And it is taking care of the planet because we reduce light pollution and the carbon footprint. But there's much more. We have a high bandwidth to transmit tons of bits. The security is also improved by using surveillance cameras. We can use real-time video. Or using lights and loudspeakers. It is possible to add many environmental sensors to measure the health of the cities. And think about using or having an electrical vehicle charge management in each street light. Or to have Wi-Fi networks from every street light. UVAX provides a really powerful platform to add wherever you need over it. Just connect it and get the data. So thank you very much for your attention. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Please now meet Jen Hewitt from Accenture, London. He will talk now. See him. When you're ready, press the play, and you can begin to talk. 4 minutes, please.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for that introduction. It's a pleasure to be here at the Expo this afternoon. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a project that Accenture are involved with. It's using European FP7 funding from the European Commission, and it's a really exciting development, I think, in how we think about smart cities, a multidisciplinary collaboration. So the project is called Transform, and it is the bringing together of 6 different cities, as listed here: Amsterdam, Copenhagen, Genoa, Hamburg, Lyon, and Vienna. And the objective of the project is to create an integrated energy master planning tool that will better facilitate cities in making integrated decisions about their low carbon investments. So there was a recognition from the European Commission that cities were making a lot of low carbon investments, but they weren't necessarily thinking across their cities in a joined up way, and they weren't necessarily able to compare apples and apples when they were thinking about the different measures they could be taking. So they could be insulating homes, they could be putting in place photovoltaic panels, they could be increasing the length of their district heating network, but they weren't really able to understand comparably what would have the greatest impact in terms of meeting these 3 goals of increasing efficiency by 20%, increasing the amount of generation of renewables by 20%, and reducing carbon emissions by 20%. Another exciting thing about this project is that it was incredibly diverse in terms of the range of organizations that were involved. So you may or may not know Accenture. We are a multinational consulting firm. We have technology capabilities, also management consulting capabilities, and business process outsourcing capabilities. But this was actually a project across a whole range of actors. So as well as the 6 cities, we also had engineering companies. We had, as you see, NL, ERDF, distribution network companies, and people like Siemens, infrastructure companies, because ultimately these guys all need to come together to help cities to make better decisions about energy. So quite simply, the project was split into 4 different work packages. The first one was really around stating the end vision and acknowledging that not all cities actually have the same goal. You can meet these different objectives in different ways, and we had to take account of the fact that different cities would want to do that. The second point was to work with them to create the transformation agenda. So really this is a multi-decade agenda. We're talking about moving from the situation they're in now to meet their 2020 goals, but we also discussed with them about meeting 2050 objectives as well. Now, the work package that we were particularly involved with is around the quantitative decision support environment, which was an analytical tool. And then finally, the Smart Urban Labs was the actual demonstration of this in districts. So there's 3 quite simple steps. The first is around taking the messy data that there is from cities and being able to organize that, and being able to get an understanding of the geospatial dynamics of the city, so where energy consumption was happening, which neighborhoods had the most leaky buildings, getting an overview of the city. The second step is around information to insight, and at this point we're helping cities to work in their multi-stakeholder environments to plan out what are the different measures that they could take and to develop scenarios. So, as I mentioned, all those different permutations of different options they have, being able to understand how they come together to help them reach their goals. And the final point is to be able to then turn that insight into action. So help cities to make decisions about what energy investments they want to make in which years, and be able to actually move from a discussion into action planning. So I'm afraid I'm out of time, but hopefully that's caught your interest. And if you would like to know more, we have a website, which you're very welcome to have a look at, EU Transform. And we would very much welcome other cities to get involved in this project. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jen. Let's meet now with Albert Martí, please. Albert Martí is the Managing Director of MBE Associates.
Okay, good afternoon. Well, in this case, my presentation will be really related to the standardization in the world of Internet of Things. So that, in this case, we can speak about Internet of Things, Internet of Everything. In any case, the market is still in the very preliminary phase, and this makes possible really to start to develop new initiatives in order to find the different best standards on it. According to the World Economic Forum report from this year on big data, less than 1% of the actual physical use. Yes, okay. Less than 1% of the actual existing physical objects are really connected to internet networks. And according to the same report, it is forecasted that by the end of 2017, we'll have around roughly 19 billion devices being connected. Of course, we have now here in Barcelona, as well as in other cities, different projects that make use of the technology of Internet of Things. Which is the current situation of the standardization? In spite of this early stage of development of the market itself and the big expectations in terms of number of things, of devices to be manufactured, we'll see that the degree of interoperability in the networks actually is really very poor. If we go around in this show itself, you will see that there are very big companies really having their own proprietary platforms. There are other companies, mainly those manufacturing small devices and sensors, they work on open standards, and especially in areas like home automation, you will see that the companies, they make use of standards, but every company is really using the standard that better things is better matching for the market they are addressing to. So that we find there is a great dispersion in proprietary platforms and standards, and every company is competing to become really the standard platform. There are other sectors that do have really a big amount of market expectations, like motor vehicles, domotics, and also utility meters. In all these cases, you will see that they are really reaching agreements in order to use different existing standards. Going to the end, you will see that in many cases, companies are really having big profit expectations due to the use of closed platforms, but in other cases, the use of closed platforms may have really a meaning, in case for industrial control. And then there is a clear fact that press in favor of the interoperability. This is that a market forecast of thousands of millions of objects connected to the internet, and this really forced really to go more and more to the standardization. But in any case, the market will decide. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Now, please, let's meet Katharina Wagner from Car2Go.
Hi, everybody. My name is Katharina, and I'm head of business development at Car2Go. And I hope my presentation works. Sorry. Okay. Car2Go is a daughter company of Movil, and since I just realized how short 4 minutes are, I want to jump quickly through two of the products which we offer in our company, which is the Movil platform, which is not progressing here. No. The Movil platform is, has the idea to connect big data or data from different transportation companies, like our own products, which is Car2Go, Car2Go Black, Park Together, but also from public transportation companies, from taxis, remote bus services, and bike sharing services, in order to offer a platform for a customer where at any time he can choose the most simplest way for him to go from A to B. So this platform, Movil, will show him how he gets there, what's the best option for him to get, and in future he will be able to buy the full trip over our platform. There is a big challenge to gather this data because many public transportation providers provide it, but there are many who also don't provide any data, and this is what we are fighting with every day and gathering the data to establish the biggest European platform for transportation services and transportation information in future. And just to quickly jump to our second biggest product, which is Car2Go. Car2Go is a car sharing service now present in 29 cities. Actually, we just launched Brooklyn, 7 countries. And this is also based very much on data which we gather from the vehicles. So the car sends us information every time it's rented, every time the motor starts and ends. By that way, we are able to analyze the mobility patterns of our customers in the city and to make decisions regarding the home area which we want to offer for our clients. Also, by analyzing the customer data, from the movements and from the mobility patterns as you see here below, or the customer groups, we are able to evaluate future cities and the potential for Car2Go to grow to new markets. And just to show you where we are right now, we have over 850,000 customers. By the end of the year, we will reach 1 million customers. Over 26 million rentals were done since Car2Go was founded in 2009. It was in total more than 4,500 times around the world. Every 2.0 seconds, a Car2Go is rented somewhere around the world. And right now we have 11,500 cars, of which 1,250 are pure electric fleet. So I think to really just quickly give you a short overview about our two biggest products. If you have any questions, I will be here after the presentation. Thank you. How do you get out?
Thank you, Katharina. Now, please, let's meet Luigi Telesca from eXrade.
Okay, we will be rushing in order to achieve the same speed of my colleague before. Okay, SUPERHUB is a European project. So we started with the concept of giving the possibility to everyone to have green mobility in Europe. So the first thing was to put the user in the center with an integrated approach to give multi-mobility real, to have an open source platform and component for backend, and also we wanted to harmonize the data. So what we have done, we are running actually 3 major cities in Europe, that is Milan, Barcelona, and Helsinki, a platform that is actually able to harmonize data coming from many, many networks, from floating car data, from apps, for public transportation, weather pollution, carpooling, car sharing, bike sharing, and all the things that we think are going to improve green mobility. We actually enrich this data with our algorithms, and we are able to combine not only directions, but also with persuasive systems that are able to recommend user in order to become more and more sustainable. So actually, the system is already operating in those 3 cities, and we are testing with more than 4,000 people. And actually, what we can even do is actually we can provide a mobility marketplace and sourcing. So basically, we can buy and book and even run on top of different carriers and operators in Europe. Actually, this is not only a mobile version, but there is also a web version that is also providing the capability for users to score themselves, to see actually if they are able to perform well, to be a good citizen. And this information is very important because it's also combined with the big data coming from the cities. We are able to analyze the city dynamics. This information is very important for public operators. And actually, we develop even a system that is able to have statistical analysis of this data and to recommend some policies implementation, like to run more rides of public transport or to increase the number of new lines or something like that. We got a prize from the European Commission as Best Smart City project last year, and also we got the City Tech Award this year. But our objective is to go beyond this. We want to create an open alliance for mobility in Europe, partnering with the good partners like, for example, Car2Go, and we hope many others that can join this effort, because we think there is a huge opportunity for all on smart mobility, and especially green mobility. What we care about is to have the possibility for citizens to choose the mobility they want. At the moment, they cannot choose. They don't have any opportunity for actually making this happen. But at the same time, we want to create an innovation ecosystem around open mobility. So we want to develop a public-private partnership together with all of you and with all the cities that are willing to adopt this model, and to increase the number of data and the data sharing, and to reduce the time to market for mobility products, because this is our problem at the moment in Europe. The benefits are for all, for travelers, for the environment, because if we use more public transport and also shared transportation mobility services, we can increase also sustainability, but also for the economy. We can create new jobs, new business opportunity, and we can also give the opportunity to small and medium companies to actually to grow their products in the future with less barrier to enter into the market. So it's time to join forces. If you want to know more, please join the effort. Thank you.
After that presentation, please meet Maria Luisa Catalan from the Research Center I2CAT. Thank you.
How does it work? So, no. ¿A estas teclas?
Sí.
Okay. So mainly the motivation of Tracimo is an European project. The main motivation of the project is we know that nowadays people are moving more and more to the cities, so the population is increasing. For example, in Africa, it's expected that in 20 years, the population in cities will be doubled. And we know that in cities, most of the resources of energy and water consumption of the world are consumed in these cities. So everything is becoming more and more complex. And we need some means to have smarter and greener cities, that is, to have some solutions to take good decisions and to use in a better and more efficient way the available resources in the cities and in the world. So the main goal is to find solutions to save the time, the energy, money, and to improve the quality of life of citizens. So with this goal, we funded the Tracimo project. The Tracimo project is a future interactive research experimentation project in cooperation between Europe and South Africa. And the main aim of this project is to propose an end-to-end based reference architecture for having smarter and greener cities. And we have proposed this architecture, and we built some evaluation environments in federated testbeds, and also we built some pilots to show the benefits of this architecture. So the main objective is to foster the interconnection of these federated testbeds, because this is a FIRE project, and to foster the use of existing standards in the M2M field. So these are the partners of the Tracimo project. There are some partners of the European side and some partners of the South African side. For example, the TU Berlin and Fraunhofer Focus, they provide the open MTC platform. This is the M2M platform this is the core platform of the project, a middleware. Then we have some SME company of Israel that provides some smart sensors, and we at I2CAT, we provide smart city development to improve this infrastructure, as I will show you. In the South African side, we have an Eskom. Eskom is the electrical company in South Africa, and they will build a pilot for smart energy with smart devices. And we have CSIRE that will provide the smart city platform. And also we have the University of Cape Town that will also build some testbeds for federation. So this is the main design of the architecture. As I said, in the core is the M2M platform. This is based on a gateway server approach. And the main issue is that in the M2M gateways are used to get data from heterogeneous sensors and wireless networks, and they can handle the data from the sensors, and they can manage also these end devices. And all this data can be used. So we define a horizontal framework, and that we can have different vertical services. We focus on smart energy services and green city applications. With this reference architecture that we have built, we evaluate this in federated testbeds in Cape Town and in Berlin. And we built also 2 different pilots, proof of concepts in South Africa and here in San Vicente del Sur in Spain. So I will skip this presentation because these are some of the details of the M2M platform. As I said, one of the most important things is that it is based on standard protocols, and it follows all the standard directives of ETSI and One M2M. So one thing of Tracimo is that we want to provide communication and get data. For when we don't have a reliable communication. So we support the building of opportunistic networking based on the lateral networks and radio backup technologies. In very short, the main idea is that we don't need to have a big infrastructure, and we have some mobile devices that would get data from the sensors. And in order to save energy, the sensors will have radio wake-up technologies that are radio technologies that consume very low, so we can preserve the life of all the sensors. That is the main issue in smart cities. And in South Africa, the pilot is going about smart energy because they have a lot of problem of energy outages in underdeveloped countries, so they can control the loads and they can limit the loads if necessary and monitor the energy consumption. So I think more or less is this. The main issue and the impact that we are expecting with the project is that to show that we can use standard platforms in an industrial field, not only focused on smart energy and green cities, but in smart cities in general, and we can validate all this architecture in real environments and testbeds and pilots. And researchers can get all this data of these testbeds and can develop other algorithms that will serve to future smart cities. So thank you. Sorry.
Thank you, Luisa. After that presentation, please meet Simon Delaire from iMines. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. No slides for me, 4 minutes. It's not enough to make slides, basically. Just going to be you and me. I just want to spend 4 minutes with you to talk a bit about an initiative that we are taking that is aimed at connecting and empowering the creative industries in Europe. The initiative is called the Creative Ring, and it comes out of a project that is called Specify, which is a CIP project, EU-funded project. Why do we want to do this? On the one hand, you will all realize that creative industries are important. Smart cities really are creative cities. Depending on the statistics that you look at, creative industries represent between 4 and 8% of GDP. That means millions of workers in the European Union. That means 860 billion euros in annual turnover generated by the creative industries. They are important to make cities thrive. They also attract other economic activity, and they're increasingly being seen as essential. The problem here obviously is in Europe that creative cities need to connect because they're often very small companies. 80% of them are 3 persons or less. These are very small companies that are very good, very talented at what they do, but they have a lot of difficulty in marketing, in selling their talent outside of their own region where they have their clients. So that's something we want to do. We want to connect them using technology. And how we want to do that, that's through the Creative Ring, which is an organization which will start next month. And it will do a number of things. First of all, it will consist of a network of creative hubs in European cities. These are infrastructures. These are nice post-industrial inspiring buildings where creative industries gather and where we can install tools and technologies that they can use to cooperate. So that's one thing. The second thing is that we will give them co-creation tools. Within Specify, we are currently experimenting with some technology provided by Flemish partners, by Spanish partners, i2CAT, by Italian partners from CreateNet, that allows these creative industries to come together and to experiment together with new things. That can be performances, it could be new products, new services, basically coming together in rooms like this and showing to each other what they can do, not just through Skype, not just in a boring meeting room, but through live streaming, through fiber connectivity, we were able to make them work together on products. So that's the second thing, co-creation tools. The third thing is that we want to have communities that are managed. We want to have people on the ground that scan the talents that are available in the cities and that match them together with talent available in the other hubs. So we want to have a creative agenda. We want to have a set of events using these co-creation tools that connect these creative industries together. And then the fourth aspect is that we want to have a repository of other tools, not just the co-creation tools, but tools in any type. This can be visualization tools, it can be business process tools, and so on, that help, that can be sold, that can be marketed within the creative hub, so that you give access to a much larger market to your local creative industries. Those are the 4 components of what we're doing. We are starting from the hubs within the Specify project. That's Barcelona, that's Trento in Italy, and that's the Flemish region. We're already in talks with cities just like Amsterdam, Manchester, Bristol, Quebec, Montreal, Dublin, Eindhoven, and so on. So we have a number of places, cities that really do see the importance of creative industries, that do have a hub in mind, a nice building, and a creative community that they want to connect. And if you are interested in being one of those, you have my details. Please do contact me, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everyone. After that presentation, please meet Ignasi Fontanals from Aptitudes.
Com passo les diapos. Okay, hello. My name is Ignasi Fontanals. I will talk about resilience. You all know that in many cities there is a big problem about how the city can face impact, any kind of impact, technological impacts, natural impacts as floodings, as many problems as blackouts, for example. So we have developed a solution to help cities to face these impacts. This interest in resilience is now being developed by multinational organizations as UN Habitat, the World Bank, the Rockefeller Foundations. They are all investing money in cities that will be resilient. And we think that in the market of smart cities, resilience would be a vector to develop new technologies and new products. So what we have done, we are a startup based here in Barcelona. From an R&D project with the university and the city of Barcelona, we have developed a platform called Hewitt to help cities to be more resilient and to build interdependencies between urban services and simulate cascade effects. This platform can help to improve situation rooms, can help to improve managers, the day-to-day management of the city services. And we have created, by applying to the city, very known methodologies about industrial and business continuity, risk management, and coming from the industry, we have applied it in the city. Like this, we have features as analyzing the services as networks, identifying which are the different redundancies that take place in a network of services. We can analyze the cascade effects. This is a very innovative approach. Nobody is doing this at the moment. We think we are one of the most well-placed startups doing this kind of analysis. And what we had at the end, it's a resilience map where you can have a very intuitive and very powerful tool to analyze what will happen in your city when there's an impact in one of your services, how it affects to the other services, how much time you will have before your city collapsed, and what actions must be taken in the management of the city. We work also with GIS. We can interact with GIS, but the main thing is our resilience map. And thank you very much. We have a booth here in Barcelona booth where we can explain you a little bit more. And sorry, because it's a very short pitch. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ignacio. Now, to the presentation, please let's meet Rafael Jimenez from Digital Foundation.
So hello, good afternoon. I'm Rafa Jimenez. I work for Digital, which is a research center here, based here in Barcelona. So I'm the manager of the urban data analytics team. Well, actually, just a short introduction. So we do data analytics in the urban environment, and I mean, let's say our best-selling item is that we try to avoid that current hype for data science. So we try to mix data science and data engineers. So actually, we have a small, but I would say active team where we have data scientists who actually know how to code, how to properly code. And we have data engineers who actually claim to understand what a regression or even a Markov modulated Poisson process is. So why we do that? So what's that urban data analytics thing? What we try to do is to have data explaining us how is the city, so how the city behaves. So I mean how people and objects in the city actually behave, which are the dynamics through which the city expresses itself. So that means so where is people going, why are they going there, how are they, where do they come from? So actually, what's in there? So that's what we call like the city chronotype, and I mean we guess that getting to know that city chronotype has a lot of applications. So we are really applied research center. We try to fix specific issues and challenges from the city. We don't do like rocket science. We try to fix things in the city by using data, right? And how we do it, so which is our focus? So we focus on location. So cities are really like highly complex systems, and we need some sort of access to try to address this. So we pick location. We have sort of a background in geospatial analytic and geographic information systems. So from that, we have somehow evolved. And for us, like cities are like geospatial entities. So everything that happens in a city has a latitude and a longitude. So every item, every dynamic, every movement, every phenomena, every behavior has the latitude and a longitude. So actually, that's our, let's say, research focus. So try to grab that axis in order to somehow correlate, yeah, as I said, so all the elements in the city in order to try to find answers to these questions that we may find in these everyday challenges. And I mean, so to try to put some specific examples of what we are doing. Applications, so as I said, our background comes from mobility, so we'll be doing like research on mobility, so really trying to for example, to understand traffic in the city and see how the context variables really affect the traffic in the city, and how concepts like calendar, events, even like Twitter activity, which is the impact of such variables in the traffic. Also to have predictions on that, also on the incidents. We also have, we are also using that in different domains, public transport, retail, actually everything that comes expressed through geolocated data, we crunch that and we are able to somehow find answers from that. This is a really example, something we did. This is Urveo. This is a prototype we did for a challenge run by a big bank here in Spain. We got second award here. This is a monitor of the impact of city events, right? We have credit card operations here. We have Twitter data here, and by looking for anomalies in those time series, we try to find out events in the city, and then we have a metric of which was the impact in terms of money, spend money for that event. And then city managers may have a hint on whether the investment in that event was valuable or not. This is just an example, and as everyone else, I'll be happy to share more of our research with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Rafa. And after, we meet Kevin Coffey, please, from Vimoc Technologies.
As I thought, technicals let me down, but we'll see how we go. So I'm here today to speak to you as somebody who's an end user of this Internet of Things, and as a trader in my street, I'm in a very low-tech industry. I make fashion. 2 years ago, two gentlemen walked into my store and said, "Do you think we could help you with your data processing?" And I said, "Well, what sort of data processing?" You know, well, information that you might like from the street, the climate, the footfall. I said, "Just wait there at the counter a moment, I'll show you what I do currently." I walked to the door, I opened the door, I put my head out on the street, I looked left, I looked right, I turned back to the two gentlemen at the counter and I said, "Can you improve on that? That's my current data. It's a quiet day." So, with the help of Newcastle Now, our Business Improvement Association, and many, many other players, including my fellow traders in the precinct in Derby Street, we got together and started a new project called Kayuma. Now, Kayuma is a landscape architecture process. Kayuma is Aboriginal term for a gathering of data in this case. Just so happens that Palo Alto County Council in California are also processing and following on with exactly the same project we are, so we're in good company. Essentially, if I could show you, there are N boxes which are sensors that predict information before they're sent to a web of landscape computing. The data's compressed, it's predicted, it's filtered, and it's sent to the cloud. It then comes back to my counter in my store, to a dashboard that tells me how many people are walking past, what the temperature is, what the traffic's like, what the CO2 levels are, and eventually, hopefully, all the traders will understand and maybe give a percentage of their trading for the day. So we can get a true gauge at street level as a retail end user as to what the Internet of Things is all about. I will eventually have to explain to my clients that they're considered a thing. Data and digital are symbiotic, but humans are analogue and will remain analogue. They're precious to us as business owners, but that information is also very, very precious to help us with our staffing levels, to help us know when to open and close, to help us know what's working and what's not with promotions. So if you want to know more about the technical side of it, it's not my department. I just know it works for me. So if you want to come to the Vimox stand and talk the technical side of things, we're more than happy to have you there. We won't treat you like a thing. We'll treat you like a human. We don't bite. But come and see us at Vimox Technologies, and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Ben. And finally, please meet Jordi Badal from Parkimeter Technologies.
Hi, everybody. Corre això. És aquest?
Si no fes moure les tecles amb pàgina abajo. Play. Està tornant a carregar. Vale.
Well, unfortunately, it doesn't work. I will explain in less than 4 minutes what Parkimeter is. You know, the Parkimeter, it's a virtual information service provider for that connect people, devices, parking lots. Our main objective is to create a global network independently of the cities and countries. One of the problems that exist that the current parking networks are more or less local. We are not owner of our, no, it doesn't matter. You know, we are not owner of the parking lots, you know, we are a platform that connect people and parkings. The platforms that exist, normally, they are platforms that provide information of parkings on streets for one side, parking off a street for another side. You know, our objective is to have only one platform that inform about the availability of space on a street, on parking on a street, off a street. Our platform, you know, at this moment starts this project in Barcelona. But our main objective is to cover 7 countries of the European community in 2 years' time. Our solution, what do is, with one device as the smartphone is, you know, you can find, first of all, information about parkings, where the parking is, if the parking has space available or not. On the other side, they give you, information about if this parking is smart or not, if it's necessary to get the ticket when you entrance or not. You know, you can go to the car, just to the barrier, and with your mobile, you know, you identify yourself, the barrier is open, you park, and after that, when you finish, you know, you go to the barrier again, and you pay with your mobile. You don't need money, you don't need a credit card available, you know. Our objective is to provide the users confidence. I think that it's that's the end. If you want to know something else about that, you know, we will have another presentation on the next Thursday at 4:45. Thank you very much. I'm sorry for the presentation.
Thank you very much. These were all the presentation. If anyone in the audience is interested in making some question targeted to any of the speakers, please feel free to raise your hand and ask to any of the speakers what you need. All right, then if there is no further questions, we will close here the session. Thank you very much for your attention, and welcome to the Smart City Expo World Congress. Thank you very much.